a bunch of tomatoes. Get rid of the bad ends. The bad ends. This is a crappy knife, but that's okay. So, as you can see, just going to rough chop these. We're not trying to make them look anything special. A lot of people like to go through the process of blanching them and then putting them in cold water to get the peels off. But to be honest, like I said, the knife's really dull. The peels will stay small, it'll turn all mushy, and there's lots of nutrients in the peels, so why should we possibly care if there's a little bit of peel in there? They're all natural. Adds a little bit of flavor. So, I will get on chopping up all the rest of these, and then we'll be back before we put it in the pot. So we're going to start with a little bit of garlic in either melted butter or olive oil. I don't have fresh herbs, so we're going to put in some oregano. Put in some more oregano. Going to put in, what else we got? Basil. Staple in the Italian kitchen. Both of these, actually. All right. Lots of basil. I love the smell. Okay. That's a good start. I'll put that on super low heat and get that simmering. All chopped up. Only one place for them to go. That's right. Ta-da! Works better if you use a thick bottom pan. Distributes the heat better, keeps things from burning in one spot. Every few minutes just come back and move it around. Everything will soften up and it'll get really saucy in the next 10-12 minutes. After a couple minutes it'll be boiling pretty good, softening up, all the liquid comes out. You want to keep this up. You can keep medium to high heat if you're paying attention. If you're going to step away, definitely do not leave it up on the high temp. But since I'm here and I'm cooking anyways, I have a little bit higher to soften it up and get it reducing sooner rather than later. This is only at about the 5-minute mark. So we're at about minute 9 or 10 and you can see it's already just resembling like a very hearty soup. Yeah, so another 10 minutes and it'll be all softened up and you can just allow the reduction into a nice tasty tomato sauce. Do not salt and pepper at this point because half of this volume is going to go away as it reduces, evaporates, boils off, all that kind of thing. So you don't want to season it to how you like it right now, because then as the water leaves, you're going to end up with way too salty, way too peppery. That is the last thing you do when it's, reduced to the point where you'd want to serve it. So, gonna take our chicken. I wouldn't drop it in, everything's boiling, it'd be a bad idea. Place it in nicely. And why are we doing it this way? Well, if you fry it first, you dry it out. This way, it actually mixes into the sauce, all the flavors work themselves together. And it's not like it needs to be cooked before it goes into sauce, because look, boiling. And the nice thing is having the sauce there actually helps break it up so you don't get it extremely chunky, meat pieces when you're looking for a smoother texture to a bolognese. There you go. You just heard the secret. So I'm going to mix this around. As you can see, the water's already coming out. The chicken's already cooked. So it's just a matter of lowering the heat to absolute minimum and letting it simmer until everything softens up. That's probably another 25-30 minutes. But we'll check on it every 8-9 minutes to make sure nothing's sticking, nothing's burning, none of that kind of stuff. Here we go. Got a pot of water boiling. Get as big of a pot as possible. You're going to want to fill it up at least a third the way. Sauce is reduced quite well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this, we're going to put it in here, and then add our ingredients for our cannelloni filling. Our ingredients are, and I like to grate my own, but I like whole wheat bread ground up for breadcrumbs. Got some cheese, you can put whatever kind you want. You're going to need an egg, and I like to put in half a tub or whatever of 2% cottage cheese. Just get the protein up, add some richness. So let's get spooning. Now you don't want to pick up a lot of liquid because you want to keep the filling kind of dry. So I've got a slotted spoon. Just let a bit of it drain out. 1. 2. 'And this is a pretty hefty scoop, so 3. Pretty simple. And then what you're left with is a nice simmering bolognese sauce that you can top the cannelloni with when you're done, before you put it in the oven. So I'm going to turn that way down because we just kind of want it kept warm, still cooking a little bit. So at this point there has still been no salt or pepper put in. That is what you would do when it's fully reduced, so just before it's going to go on top of the cannelloni. Then you would, you'd take a little taste, say, oh, you maybe bring up the salt, or maybe we need a little bit of pepper, or maybe you like chilies. So definitely do not touch it beforehand or it'll get overpowering as it reduces. So I've broken it up a bit with the spoon. This isn't too important because you're going to get in there with your hands to mix it soon. So definitely make sure it cools off enough first. But, well, this actually helps it cool off as well, so. All right, let's start adding the other ingredients. This is basically to preference. I like it a little bit drier, so I add a little extra breadcrumbs because we will get moisture from the egg as well as the cottage cheese. Cheese, again, completely dependent on your preferences. If you ask me, more is the answer. And then your cottage cheese. A little bit more. There we go. Like I said, it is 2%. And we need an egg. All right. And some chili flakes. A little more chili flakes, because I have a problem. Now I'm going to mix all this up by hand and then determine if we got to put salt and pepper in. So make sure your hands are good and clean and just get in there and mix it all together. Amalgamate all the ingredients. The more you work it around, the more consistent it'll be and the more ideal your flavor profile will be. You get the idea. So I tasted the mix and it actually didn't need very much salt, which was great. I added pink Himalayan, but whatever you want to use is fine. I guess a good point would be you can add in whatever type of breadcrumb you want, or you don't have to put them in. You could use oats if you wanted. It will dry it out quite a bit and kind of bland out the flavor, but you can absolutely do that. If you want to use your low carb, high protein bread, you got some left over, dry it out, grate it up, that works as well. So we're just kind of getting everything. Now, if you don't have the ability to make your own pasta sheets, you can pretty much get them at any Italian grocery store kind of thing, and then they cook really quickly. Cool them on a rack and then get rolling. So the sheets look about ready. As you can see, it's not a heavy boil, you just want to keep things moving. So be a little delicate with these. Try and pick them up by weight, not by pinching. And I have a bowl of cold water next to it. So you grab it and then kind of lift. There you go, just like that. And then we'll throw another 3 sheets in, get that going. And then we'll start wrapping the ones that are already cooked. These guys. So we got a little station set up here. Got the bowl with the pasta sheets in it. This is the tray we're gonna bake in. Some olive oil, and there's the filling. So let's get started. I like to just lay down a little bit of olive oil. Doesn't need a lot. 1, it adds a little bit of flavor, and 2, you just make sure nothing sticks. Easier to lift out later as well. So I'm on a cutting board. I just put down this paper, just so when I pull it out of here, it doesn't have a lot of extra moisture. It's okay to have the moisture there, but for me, I prefer it if it just collects let a little bit drip off here, bring it over. Look at that, you're good. Now yes, these are very large pieces, but they actually fill this up quite nicely. What you could do, or I guess I can show you how to make smaller versions. We can cut it in half and then lay them this way instead. Because if you don't have big enough plates to serve, or you don't want to cut it after they're laid out, I just find they present really nice when the tray is full. But you know what, I'll cut them for you. Let's do that. So try and pick an area that's roughly half. These are very easy to cut when they're cooked, so no problem. It's a no problem. Now, I'm gonna grab some of this. I don't know how to explain the mix. Like, it's sticky, but it's not super dry. There's still a lot of moisture in there. It's just not like liquidy. And then what you do, you roll one over, you pull it back on itself a little bit, and then continue to roll. Look how easy that is. There you go. This one now. So you've made a lot of extra filling here. You can use this for something else tomorrow. You could make a homemade lasagna. You can put it with your eggs tomorrow morning, anything like that. I just don't want to run out and not have a full tray for presentation. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, but you shouldn't eat all these carbs while you're training. You know what? If you're not trying to step on stage or get in the ring, it's okay to eat a little bit of carbs. You know, there's a difference between clean carbs or even just, pasta carbs, and then going and eating a bag of chips before you go to bed. That's the problem. We've demonized carbs, but you know what? The body needs them. The brain needs them for function. You need them for energy. You ever notice when you try cutting out carbs, you're just so lethargic during your workouts? Yeah, there you go. So while you think you're cutting and you're losing weight, you have boring ass workouts. Why would you do that? I didn't mean to get off on a rant there, but if you don't have a purpose timed event where you have to be super, super lean, it's okay to incorporate fun dishes like this once or twice a week. You're gonna go nuts if you try doing the chicken and broccoli and brown rice and sweet potato diet every day, 6 times a day. You're gonna go nuts. That's why I don't call these cheat meals. I call these sanity meals, because this will keep you sane. If you gotta eat like a professional athlete all the time, you will go nuts. Now, you don't have to fill them up as much, or you can fill them up a little less or a little more, whatever you want to do. There's no right or wrong way to do this. You're eating it, so everybody should be happy if they're eating. Food shouldn't cause you problems. You make what you like, you serve it to the people you like, no problem. And if a couple of the sheets get a tear, that's just because I was a little too aggressive with the tongs. It doesn't matter, because you're rolling it over itself. Don't throw them away. I mean, if you like eating pasta sheets, just eat the pasta sheet. And go on to another one. There, look at that, like there's no problem. Then we're going to cover it up in cheese and sauce, so it really doesn't matter that it's got that little line in it. All right. So there's 6 of them. I'm going to use half of another sheet that I got cooking right now, so there'll be 7 in there. I mean, I could squish it and put in 8 just to make an even number. That's not a problem. We'll see how it goes. But I'll be back when they still got to finish cooking. Looks like we'll have perfect amount for like 8. So you know what? That's what we'll do. I'll put 8 in here. So the rest of the pasta sheets cooked up. I'm gonna grab one more of those and fill up the rest of this tray. Perfect. Alright. There we go. Get rid of this. We'll be back with a clean hands and we'll finish off the rest. Look what we got here. We got all that sauce. It's ready. Beautiful chicken bolognese. Only added a pinch of salt. That's all it needed. That's the beauty when you start with real tomatoes. The flavor is incredible. Now, there's no special way to do this. You just make a mess. Make a mess. There you go. Move it all around like that. Absolutely. Enjoy all those sounds. All the bright colors. All the prettiness. Never have too much sauce. There we go. It's like we knew what we were doing. Look at that. Oh, and you know what's next. So I use a cheese mixture. You can use mozzarella, but I like provolone, and I like a little bit of a spicy cheese on top. So, but you do whatever you want. There isn't one right way to do this. You do it so you're going to enjoy eating it, and you'll probably share. Look at that. And what I like to do on top of that, just a little bit of olive oil. There we go. Beautiful. Now she's ready to go in the oven. Oh my, look at that. Preheat your oven to 350. And we can't forget, we gotta Italian this up a little bit. You can put some basil, some oregano on, all that good stuff. Look at that. And that'll really bake into the cheese as well. Oven gets opened up. In we go. For about 20 minutes. Five-minute check-in. Ooh, melty cheese. Very nice. Time's up. Yeah, that looks good. Except we're gonna put it back in for 45 seconds on broil, because I like a nice crispy top. Ooh, the moment of truth. Yeah. Oh, man. Look at that. Cheesy chicken cannelloni. Oh, boy. The moment of truth. Love all this crusty cheese on the end. That's by far the best part of this entire thing, but we're gonna dish up a couple portions here. Oh yeah. There we go. See that little bit of olive oil that we put at the bottom? Now you understand why we did that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And there you have it, making food great again. So that is a high protein chicken cannelloni. I hope you try this at home. Let me know how it turns out.